At Pearl Harbor. Then as now, Pearl Harbor was of vital strategic importance to the defense of our nation. Today, our servicemen and women stationed in Hawaii continue the legacy of honor, courage, and commitment of those who served before and who witnessed the terrible morning of December 7th. At the end of the attack, 21 vessels were either sunk or severely damaged. 323 Army and U.S. Navy planes had been damaged or destroyed, and 2,390 Americans were killed. This morning, we're gathered to remember and to pay tribute to all of those who died in that infamous attack 70 years ago today, and to recognize the sacrifices made by those brave men and women who survived. Will the guests please rise for the arrival of the official party? The official party for today's ceremony includes Mr. Paul Dupre, Superintendent, World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument, National Park Service; Rear Admiral Frank Pons, Commander, Navy Region Hawaii and Naval Surface Group Middle Pacific; Admiral Patrick Walsh, Commander, United States Pacific Fleet; the Honorable Ray Mabus, Secretary of the Navy; the Honorable Brian Schatz, Acting Governor, Lieutenant Governor, State of Hawaii; Mr. Mal Middlesworth, Pearl Harbor survivor; and Mr. William Muleib, President of the National Pearl Harbor Survivors Association. Please be seated. In the native Hawaiian culture, the religious leader or spiritual advisor is known as a kahu. Today, we're pleased to have for our invocation a Hawaiian blessing offered by Kahu Kawila Clark.
Aloha ka kahiaka ka ko. Good morning to all of us. We start the ceremony with the pū. And the reason for the pū is to bring the vibrations in the atmosphere into harmony so that that harmony can be expressed in aloha. And then after the pū, I'll give a oli or a blessing chant. Kahali kalihua, kia la, kia pu, kia laula, iala, iala, iala e, ialo e, ialo e, ialo e. The blessing simply says, we, the flowers of the earth, come together as children of the Creator, and we come together in aloha because aloha was the way given to us by the Creator for us to live in harmony together. So the blessing is to our survivors and their families that the harmony that they live in today will allow them to lead full lives and that their health and well-being be cared for. We are all very blessed to be here in Hawaii on this winter day. And we say to you, Amama ua noa, so it is said, so it is done. Mahalo.
Thank you, Kahu. Today's Pearl Harbor Day commemoration is co-hosted, as it has been for many years, by the National Park Service and the United States Navy. Here to share a warm welcome is Paul Dupre, Superintendent of the World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument, followed by Rear Admiral Frank Pons, Commander of Navy Region Hawaii and Naval Surface Group Middle Pacific.
Well, aloha. There are a lot of people here today. That's great. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center for this 70th anniversary commemoration. I was asked recently why we commemorate Pearl Harbor Day. From my perspective, there are 3 reasons. Today's ceremony pays respects to all of those who lost their lives December 7, 1941. It also allows us to honor those still with us, who lived through that day and the years that followed. Lastly, this ceremony is important because it reinforces the need to continue to remember those lost lives and to understand the impact of their sacrifice and the war and the events that followed. It is a tradition for us to pause from our daily routine and to contemplate the magnitude of this historic event. I'm so glad you could be with us this morning as we show our respect, demonstrate our honor, and strive for better understanding. Among the dignitaries I'd like to welcome are the Honorable Brian Schatz, former Governor George Ariyoshi, former Governor Ben Waihe, the Honorable Ray Mabus, the Honorable C.W. Bill Young, former Congressman Ed Case, Admiral Willard, Admiral Walsh, Admiral Harvey, Admiral Haney, Admiral Hayes, Admiral Mackey, Ambassador Reed Rowe, Ambassador Tom Seth, Ambassador Laporta, Ambassador Von Damme, Lieutenant General Darnell, Lieutenant General Thiessen, Vice Admiral Hunt, Vice Admiral Myers, Vice Admiral Kihune, Vice Admiral Holder, Lieutenant General Stackpole, the Honorable Peter Carlisle, the Honorable Bernard Carvalho, Countess Della Hussein, all flag and general officers, members of the Consular Corps, members of the Senior Executive Service, and all other elected and appointed officials. I am especially happy to welcome the many Pearl Harbor survivors and family members. Today marks the closing of a chapter for the Pearl Harbor Survivors Association, and I'm very pleased that both the President and Vice President are able to participate in this morning's proceedings. Your organization was the driving force in recognizing the need to remember Pearl Harbor. Mahalo nui loa for all of you for your long years of service as caretakers of this important mission. Thank you. Admiral?
Thank you. Welcome to the Pearl Harbor survivors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today we honor the memory of all those who made the supreme sacrifice 70 years ago. Just as every other day, but unlike any other day, we stop and stand steadfast in memory of our heroes of Pearl Harbor and the Second World War. Today you will hear the hallowed stories of courage, honor, and sacrifice. Today they will speak, and today I ask that you listen. As I have to the whispers of fallen shipmates, soldiers, airmen, Marines, and civilians alike, asking that we not forget and never give up the good fight for the freedoms and the ideals of our great nation. Now let us take a moment to remember how this memorial came to be, the gateway to our military history, to our military heritage. In 1949, the Territory of Hawaii established the Pacific War Memorial Commission. In 1950, Admiral Radford, Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Pacific Fleet, re-raised the flag above USS Arizona on a small stage, on a small flagpole, on a small platform, accessible only by a few. Since that time, the Navy has partnered with the community, the National Park Service, veterans associations, and other public and private groups in order to bring to life the Arizona Memorial and the Visitor Center. In 1961, then Representative Inouye helped to secure critical federal support to kickstart the venture. And in 1962, the Navy sponsored the dedication of the Arizona Memorial. In 1967, the Navy acquired appropriations to build a full-scale center with a museum and theater complex. And in 1970, the Navy appointed a special commission to design the predecessor to this center. Over the years, visitation to this site and the memorials has grown from thousands to hundreds of thousands. And today, more than 1.5 million visitors pass through those gates each year. The Navy is proud of its partnership with the National Park Service, our veterans, and the Hawaii community in realizing this vision. We hope that it brings honor to the memories of our veterans of World War II, their families, and their loved ones. Today, on the 70th year commemoration, we carry on the enduring legacy of the years to come for our heroes of yesterday. Years from now, little will be left of the original remains of Arizona and the Utah beneath the sacred waters of Pearl Harbor. However, what will remain will be the ideas of freedom for liberty and democracy. Thank you and mahalo.
Thank you, Admiral Pons. Thank you, Admiral and Superintendent Dupre. We have just observed the moment 70 years ago when the attack took place. It was at 7:55, and the missing man formation observed that moment. What we saw was a group of F-22s from the 199th Fighter Squadron of the Hawaii Air National Guard and the 19th Fighter Squadron from the U.S. Air Force. They executed a missing man formation in honor of those who gave their lives in defense of their country 70 years ago today. And you see the guided missile destroyer USS Chung Hoon, commanded by Commander Justin Orlick from the state of Michigan. USS Chung Hoon just returned from a December 1st deployment, 6 months out. The ship is named after Rear Admiral Gordon Paea Chung Hoon of Honolulu. Admiral Chung Hoon graduated from the Naval Academy in 1934 and is a recipient of the Navy Cross and Silver Star for conspicuous gallantry and extraordinary heroism as commanding officer of the USS Sigsbee DD-502. Admiral Chung Hoon was assigned to the USS Arizona at the time of the attack on Pearl Harbor. May we observe a moment of silence in honor of those who gave their lives here at Pearl Harbor. Thank you. Please rise now for Morning Colors and the playing of our national anthem by the Pacific Fleet Band. Bugler, sound attention. Color Guard, parade the colors.